Yeah, I think, if you've already been successfully hacked, then clearly the attackers will have, they'll have their tactics, their techniques and their procedures. They will have profiled your defenses. And unless you've taken affirmative action to adjust those defenses, change them, improve your visibility, then I'd say statistically you're at a greater risk of a repeat attack if you've still got stuff worth stealing or compromising to then, use that infrastructure to attack other organizations. And that, I think, maybe part of that is why we're seeing an increase in the likes of detonation and deception, because if you look at that from a use case perspective, one organization we're working with, or we've worked with, they've purchased this specifically to protect their intellectual property, and what they've done is they've built sort of very compelling decoys around their primary store for intellectual property, and they've set their risk profile to very, very risk averse. So if anybody was to successfully compromise a device on that network, maybe by socially engineering somebody, getting them to install a remote access Trojan, maybe it's a 0-day, or for some reason, maybe they get in, that attacker will go to the immediate reconnaissance phase, start looking at what's available, and inevitably will touch one of these decoys. And if in a very risk-averse policy, you can say, as soon as the decoy is touched, even to say, are you there, with a ping, then you can lock them out. So you literally break that kill chain right at the very start. So if you therefore have a persistent infection, to go back to the would I be attacked again, let's say the first ransomware infection was a diversionary tactic, a Trojan horse, and actually the attacker left a dormant remote access Trojan there. 6 months later, they reactivate it and they start having a little look around. If you've got deception deployed and the automation that's easy to wrap around it, you'll know much more quickly, and you'll drop that time to detect right down to the millisecond level, which is incredibly valuable, because otherwise you might not know for months. So I
Yeah.
think there are ways and means. Deception, to my mind, is a little bit like an alarm system, and then you've got the psychology. Do you tell people you've got deception? Do you not tell people you've got deception? Both are valid. It depends on the organization, it depends on the vertical, it depends on the history. Both are very, very valid, but it's very similar to a burglar alarm. And the automatic response that can be created as a result of that, with the link to the police force, for example. It's deception and sandboxing work together to dramatically drop those key metrics.